respectful and listen and really care about what they say and what everybody says in the group, they'll let you have it. I mean, if you're off base, you'll hear it, and you have to sit there and you have to listen and thank them for telling you sincerely, and that's part of the deal. Sometimes it isn't very fun, but I know as a superintendent, I have watched, prior to being superintendent, I've watched people in a leadership position tighten their circle of who they want to hear from because they don't want to hear the bad news. And it's the exact opposite of what needs to happen. You have to be able to hear what you don't want to hear. And so you really need to develop this trust relationship where you go ahead and tell me and just blast me, and it's not going to come back on you. And that's when you've got something. That's when you can really get the most out of your team.
Wow. It sounds like you've raised the bar for them, and in turn it raised the bar for you.
Absolutely. And
No
it's
doubt
good.
about it.
It's
That's
good.
good.
Okay. Well, we're the largest REAA in Alaska in terms of the number of students and the number of schools that we have. So we have 22 village schools, and then we also operate the 5 schools in Bethel, our hub community. And basically our students district-wide overall are 95% Yupik heritage. And in most of the villages, Yupik is the dominant language, although students speak a mixture of English and Yupik. And so in terms of income, all of our schools are Title I. We're probably 90-something% free and reduced school meals. So
I thought it was interesting. I read a statistic that you had written about your percentage of teachers that are Yupik.
yeah, at this point it's about 20%. It was actually 25% at one time, but with the growth of our enrollment and the growth of our certified staff, and then some of our early certified teachers, Yupik teachers, are now retiring. So at this point we're pretty much filling in as about the same rate that we're losing. Mm-hmm. But we've definitely, as a district, and the board has really supported us building as many certified Yupik folks as we could get. So it's been a major focus for the district for decades, actually, since the beginning of the district. Well, this is my 32nd year as a LKSD employee, and so I had spent a lot of time for a lot of decades in principal meetings, and it seemed to me that prior years we spent a lot of time just having a parade of talking heads in our principal meetings. And I wanted to change that focus to try to take advantage of the synergy that you get with we've got excellent administrators in our group, and they all have so much to contribute and so much expertise, but yet each one has different strengths and weaknesses, so you've got to use a teamwork approach to get full advantage out of that skill set, the combined skill set. And so I wanted to find a way to not just have them sit there and receive information, but be contributing members to everybody's learning, including my own. And so that was the reason I wanted to have this time together not be meetings, but be in-services where we learn together, and to just change the whole format of it. And so that was the emphasis.
Okay, good.
And it really has changed the culture of the administrator group, that whole idea before where people came in. It is focused in like a laser now on instructional leadership, and that has been just the horsepower that is in that room when you bring those 27 site administrators together is pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of great ideas are generated out of that group.
How did you identify, or what kind of led you to this emerging best practice to address this problem?
Well, I guess to begin with, in terms of how people learn, I mean, we're educators and so we're learners. And so as learners, how do adults learn best? How do people learn best? And it's by being engaged and being active and being part of the process. It's expressive language and receptive language. And so it needed to be a format where we worked together, learning and a give and take. And I just know from practices that I've seen and conferences I've been to that if you combine activities, small group, large group, discussion, different formats, it's much more effective than just a talking head situation. And so that was the emphasis of it. It didn't come easily. I mean, there are people in our district office that were used to being able to tell site administrators what they wanted them to do. And so, I had a bit of convincing to do, and I still get a little flack once in a while. And when I get the question, I calculated what it costs us to have everybody in that room for an hour, and it's about $3,000 because there's a lot of high-paid folks there, and travel expenses and all of that. And so my comment to some of these people was, what is so important that it's worth $3,000 an hour, and you can't just put it in an email or make a phone call or find some other way to transmit this information? Tell me what it is, and I'll consider it. And if it's all of us learning together, who knows? Maybe I'll go for it.
Good. You mentioned how adults learn, which is backed up by research. There's a lot of research about adult learning. Was there any other particular research base or books that you read or anything like that that kind of helped build this emerging best practice?
Yeah, not to begin with, but I guess during the first year of this effort, we did the webinar with the Results Now book, and that sort of cemented in the whole concept of the professional learning community for me, and how it could be more effective. I think we were kind of on the verge of developing it, but it gave me some more ideas.
Yeah.